Bart's work has been proven because he really puts the time in the field. The research of his subjects, being with the subjects in the wild, is so important to him. He would rather be in the wild, in nature, with the subject of his work than anywhere else.
I felt it was important to go to Africa if I'm going to sculpt African animals and to work directly from life. To work directly in the field puts me in contact with the animals so that I'm not sculpting one step removed. When I'm working in the field, I'm working directly from life. In preparation for our trips to Africa, there's a certain amount of physical preparation that goes into it. I have to make sure I have enough materials. I have to make sure that the supplies are there to sculpt. But most of the preparation actually takes place here. The mental preparation takes months, and that's where my core responsibility is. When I go on these working trips to Africa, I take my entire family because that is my support system. I'm going for an extended stay, and it is a chance for us to spend days and weeks in close contact without a lot of outside influences. I find it valuable for my work, and I find it valuable as a family experience.
Watching my dad really helps me to know more about wildlife and art and doing sculptures, because you really can't do anything from pictures. You have to be there. I've been to Africa 3 times with my family, and we go on game drives and do a lot of schoolwork because my mom homeschools us, and we have a lot of fun.
I think part of the reason that Bart enjoys Kenya so much is he can concentrate on his sculpture. There aren't phone calls because there are no phones. We're much more into the rhythm of natural life. Up with the sun, dinner in bed with the sun, and he can sculpt and do what he wants, whenever he wants.
When I'm in the Mara, I have only a few simple goals: to observe animals and to sculpt them. My day is dictated by what the animals do and what can be found, but I have very few responsibilities there. I can be an artist completely. I don't have to think about business. I don't have to think about foundries. I don't have to worry about exhibitions. When I'm there, it's just my subject matter and myself, and my workday is consumed with sculpting and drawing, and that's exactly the way I love it to be.
The girls have had to learn great patience in Kenya when we're sitting in a vehicle, because if he sees something he wants to work on, we may sit there for the next 4 or 5 hours. So I try to make sure we have snacks and books to read and games to play and schoolwork to do, but we're there because he wants to be there. So we kind of let him do his own thing, and we're around for the ride.
Bart and the family in Africa, it's every moment there's learning going on. There's a lot of teaching. They'll sit for hours observing a cheetah, waiting for the cheetah to maybe make a kill that day, just watching the mother cheetah look after the babies. The Walters love to watch what's going on in the field in Africa.
I like photography, and I think that it's fun, and it helps me to remember a certain day, because you might have put that back in the back of your mind, and then you see a picture that you took or that someone else took on the trip, and you think, oh, I remember that day. That's when we saw that one mother cheetah with her 2 cubs, and we saw them playing or climbing a tree, and then all of a sudden that day just comes back to you, and you remember every second of it. Every day we seem to learn something new, whether about a certain animal's behavior or a habit that they have, or just anything about different species and how they interact with each other, and just anything. You never know what you're going to see or what you're going to...
So I learned what's happening with the Maasai people who are all within the camp, and they'll talk for hours to them.
2 years ago, we met a marvelous Maasai elder named Wendai Kepra, and he took it upon himself to teach us about traditional Maasai ways. And this past trip, he continued his education of myself and my family. A friendship sprang up between us. He took an interest in my daughters, and when he found out that my youngest daughter, Rebecca, does not have a Maasai name, he decided that he should give her a proper Maasai name in a proper Maasai naming ceremony. And so we did that this trip, which was great fun. I found Wendai's face fascinating, and I thought, I have to sculpt his face. The thing that was difficult for me, aside from the fact that I primarily sculpt animals, is that Wendai has a wonderful face, a very expressive face. And to do justice to someone you've come to know and respect is always a difficult task.